Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show. You may have seen her in Morocco, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the background singers for Mickey Howard and the late, great Gerald Levert. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, the beautiful, the wonderful, the spectacular, Miss Coco McMillan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show, where we make it happen. I'm so excited to be with you this evening. This is the Coco McMillan Show, where we bring some amazing flavor to the virtual talk show circuit, featuring our national and our local recording artists, musicians, business owners, social organizations, physical and mental health awareness. This program, this podcast This is designed for you. Listen, we designed it specifically for you. The show gives you the opportunity to discuss your career goals, your product, your challenges, as well as awareness. So we've designed it for you. We want you to be a part of the Coco McMillan Show. Just check me out, email me or whatever at Coco McMillan Music at gmail.com, or you can find me on any of the social media platforms. So we want you to come to the show. Bring your experience, bring your knowledge to the show, because we believe in sharing your testimony. I say this every week. We want to share your journey. Millions of souls can be blessed just by your testimony. Each one, teach one. So that's our goal here at the Coco McMillan Show, to bring you on and let you talk about what's going on in your life, what's new, what's your challenges, so you can help our sisters and brothers out there. We are live here on the IBM network. We're on Facebook Live, on YouTube, LinkedIn, Roku. If you're in your home, you can go to your Roku TV and download Pod TV Live. Okay, it's free. So you can download Pod TV Live and you can watch it there in the presence of your home on your big screen TV. So listen, we want you to tune in. We want you to go ahead and share the broadcast. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. I can't wait to jump into the show. Our guests tonight are phenomenal. Two beautiful young ladies, and I'm so excited that they decided to join the Coco McMillan Show. So listen, I'm going to give you time to go ahead and text someone, call them, ping them, IM, DM, whatever you need to do, and let them know that you are about to spend the next hour with your girl, Coco McMillan, and it's going to be W, okay? I learned that from my new millennium kids. So it's going to be W tonight. All right, I want you to go ahead and share this broadcast. We are getting ready to do the roll call. Let me know where you're watching from, if you hear all that good stuff, so we can give you a shout out. I see Tracy Esco out there, New York in the house. Thank you so much for watching. So go ahead, let's do the roll call. Let me know that you're out there. Let me know where you're watching from. It's going to be a great show tonight. Listen, this is the month of October. It's almost over. We're going into November, but October is Pastors Appreciation Month. So we want to give a shout out to the pastors today. All of the pastors, we just want to say we love you guys. We know that you're doing a great job. We know that is a task that you're doing, being the pastor of the church, but we know that God has chosen you, and we appreciate everything that you're doing for the body of Christ. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Melvin Jackson of the Mitchell's Grove Baptist Church, Franklinton, North Carolina. So shout out to him. Also, Pastor Rodney Johnson, Asar Community Church in Villa Rica, Georgia. Shout out to him as well. I will be joining them on next month. So shout out to them. Julia, I think that's Julia Ross. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for joining. We have Jane McMillan, St. Paul's in the house. We have Jean Johnson, Irvington, New Jersey in the house. Thank you so much for watching, guys. One more announcement before we get started. If you are in the Cary, North Carolina area, I want you to come by and see me at my coffee shop located in the Amtrak Depot. That is 211 North Academy Street, Cary, North Carolina. I am inside there every morning, Monday through Friday. I'm an early bird, so it's 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. 10:30 a.m. I'm sorry, 10:30 a.m. Come by and see me. Get a cup of coffee, some donuts, some snacks, whatever you need. I got it there for you. So I want to see you tomorrow morning at the coffee shop. Bubba Johnson, Uncle Bubba, South Carolina in the house. So good that you are joining. You're joining us. Also, my pastor anniversary is coming up. second weekend in November. If you're not doing anything, join us on November the 12th at the Mitchell's Grove Baptist Church in Franklinton, North Carolina, to celebrate our pastor Melvin Jackson and First Lady Jackson anniversary. It's going to be great. So we having a service at 9 a.m. and also 3 p.m. So that's it. But keep going, keep going. Let me know that you're here. Let's do that roll call. Let me know that you're watching. Cass, what's up, my girl? New York in the house. So glad that you decided to join us tonight. So listen, I want to go ahead and get started tonight. Like I said, we have two phenomenal guests that's on here tonight. I want to introduce my first guest tonight. Such an amazing woman of God. I love her spirit, her music, all that good stuff. She is from a native of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So all my Oklahoma City people out there, what's up to you? She opened up for Todd Delaney, the Walls Group. She has several singles that's out right now. Colors, that's one of the singles. Also, my favorite, which we're going to play tonight, Exposed. I absolutely love that song. And also, Can't Live Without. She's working on her next single entitled Easy. I'm telling you, this girl is amazing. When I heard her voice, I was just in awe, and I'm so glad that she decided to join us. She won the 2023 Urban Contemporary Song of the Year. Also nominated for the Favorite Female Vocalist of the Year in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Please help me welcome my guest tonight, Deweek Smith. But before I bring her on, I want you to check out this hot single right now titled Exposed. Check it out.
Oh, you showed your love and kindness. You showed your good. You've exemplified grace. When I fell on my face, I've got to expose you for all that you do. You're my rock in the weary land. You've always got my hand. I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. Whoa. Kept me from hurt and danger. You are my shield. When I wanted to run from you, you will me back in. Got to expose you for all that you do. You're my joy and sorrow. My mind said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind, I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind, I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind, blowing my mind. My mind, I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind, I've got to expose. I've got to expose. Lord, I've got to expose you. I've got to expose you. Got to expose you. Got to expose. I've got to expose. Got to expose. Got to. I said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. Said you keep on blowing my mind. My mind. Said you keep on blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. I said you blowing my mind. Keep on blowing my mind. My mind. I said you keep on blowing my mind.
Psalms 145:6 says, people will speak of the power of your awesome acts, and with gratitude and submissive wonder, I will tell of your greatness.
I said you keep on blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. Said you
song is going to take us off into a different stratosphere. I'm trying to tell you.
Yes. Woo! Did you see me jamming back here?
No.
I absolutely love that song. What's up?
Hi, how are you?
I am well. I'm well. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Listen, I know you got a million things going on, so thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join the Coco McMillan show tonight, Ms. Smith.
Thank you for having me. You're so sweet.
So listen, I read some of the bio, seen some of the stuff that you did, but I want you to tell the viewers kind of in your own word. I know you grew up in the church, you learned how to play the guitar and the drums and everything at an early age, but tell us how it was growing up in Oklahoma and how you landed where you are today.
Well, praise God, everyone. My name is Dwayne Smith. I'm so happy to be here on the Coco McMillan show. So I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I come from church background. My dad is a pastor or was a youth pastor growing up. And so I've always just been in church. Yeah. I remember singing in front of everyone at church at 3 years old.
Wow.
Yes, my mother sings, my father sings, plays instruments. My mom said from the time I was a baby, she would try to sing me to sleep. She used to sing solfege to me. La ti do re mi. She used to do that. And she said I would try to mimic her at like 7 months. And so I've just been doing it my whole life. I remember at about 4 or 5 years old, between 4 and 6, we had a basement at our house and my dad had set up studio equipment. And that was my very first time getting to utilize a studio mic in my parents' basement when I was about 4 years old, between 4 and 6 years old. And I recorded the ABCs with my siblings. So I have 6 other siblings. We all can sing. We're all musically inclined. However, I'm the only one who still utilizes my gift to the full capacity. Because as some of us know, get burnt out.
Right.
So we praise Jesus. We praise Jesus anyhow. And so I remember before my dad would get up and preach, we would go to other churches and stuff, and they would introduce us as the Smith Six. 6 of us would get up and sing. My older brother, he rapped, but 6 of us would get up and sing. And I remember people always coming up to me, "This little girl's gonna be something." And
yeah,
we're living it out. God has truly blessed me. So praise God.
Wow. And I like myself grew up in the church. Grandmother, a preacher, pastor. How was it growing up as a PK?
Baby. So it has its ups and it has its, little downs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you never really notice like that really what you are or what your family is or like how you have to quote unquote live because we just lived our life. Right. Until you get to middle school and then you have some of those kids like making fun of, she's a preacher's kid and making jokes and how those preacher's kids are. And I'm looking like, how are we? So, being a preacher's kid, of course, has had its ups, has had its downs, of course. I remember I could tell a quick little story if I may.
Yes.
When I turned 20, or I was 20, about to turn 21, 10 days before my 21st birthday, I found out I was pregnant. And I had so many people like, "Oh, well, she a preacher's kid." And, "Oh, it's always the worship leaders." And
right.
Y'all don't do Susie down the street like that. Why y'all doing DW like that? And so that's just a little bit of how, being a preacher's kid is like. You have some people who just hold you to a higher standard. And sometimes that's okay because sometimes you do need that. But y'all, show grace like Jesus.
Show grace. There we go. Show grace. We human. We human too.
But yes, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think that God gave me, like, truly, no matter, I told my dad this a couple years ago. I said, no matter what you may have done in life that I may not have liked, you gave me the greatest thing of all, which was love. You showed love.
Yes.
And how you showed love was you introduced me to Jesus Christ. And so
Yes.
that's really the best kind. I believe that's the best kind of love that any parent can do, is introducing you to Jesus Christ, because that's the greatest love of all.
The
So
greatest love it all. And
yeah.
and growing up in the church, like you say, he has this up and downs as a PK,
Mm-hmm.
but like, in my household, you wasn't playing no, they would call it secular music. It,
Yeah.
I know you're not playing that secular music,
My
but
parents weren't that strict, praise,
oh, mine was.
because I
I mean,
danced too. So
but the thing is, even if what we do know as PKs, they introducing us to Jesus Christ, if you stray away, you know how to get back real quick.
yep, that seed. You follow them roots back.
You follow those roots back, and that's what I
Yeah.
love. I remember one time on stage when Gerald and I did the BET show, and I had on pants. Girl, my grandmother went ham. I know she not up there with no pants on.
You know,
But the love, but loving Jesus Christ. And, at your age, you were playing the drums and the guitar. You was introduced to that, through your dad, or is that something that you just started doing?
so the drums was my father. My dad would hold me as a toddler. He'd be over there on the drums, and I'd be on his lap, and he would just let me. And I think around 3 or 4, they noticed I had really good rhythm. And so my dad started teaching me how to play the drums. And then at 6 years old, I was playing the drums at the church with the microphone hanging over,
Singing.
trying to sing and play. So by the time I got to middle school, my brother was playing too, so I didn't have to play anymore unless he just wasn't there or was acting out. Then I would have to hop on and be trying to sing from the drum, trying to give people their notes.
Wow. And what about the guitar?
So the guitar, crazy story with the guitar. So my uncle Kim, he played the guitar and stuff. And I remember when I was younger, I really want to say that he taught me a few chords, but I just never remembered what he taught me.
Yeah.
And so at 16, my dad was a youth pastor at a place called Sunny Lane United Methodist Church.
Okay.
And one night the musician, he couldn't come and play. And so I ended up going to the office and grabbing the guitar, and I ended up playing out by ear, like what the song was. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like 4 little things. And like the next day or 2 days later, my dad came home and surprised me with my own guitar, and it just stuck. So I pretty much just picked it up by ear.
That's an amazing gift. Yes, that really is an amazing gift. I love that. And so with your songs, I said earlier, Exposed is my favorite. That's my favorite songs. But did you write these songs, like Exposed, Colors, Can't Live Without? Did you write these songs?
Yes, ma'am. Exposed came to me. It's crazy. I don't play the keyboard, but I was in my room or in my house by myself, and I kept hitting these chords. And then I got up, got on the couch, just didn't think anything of it, and I started hearing, "Keep on blowing my mind."
Yes.
My mind. I
Yes.
said, "Keep on blowing my mind." And then I was just like, that's catchy. so I went and got back on the piano, and I'm like, hold on, we got something. And then the Lord started giving me those verses. And immediately after, I recorded a voice memo. I sent it to my producer. I was like, we have to record this song like this week. And then I was like, let me call my friend Trudy and see if she can hop on. So I called Trudy, and she was like, send me the song. I sent her the song. She was like, okay. We recorded that song in like 4 days. We really would have been done quicker, but we had to wait on musicians to come in and lay their parts. But we recorded it in 4 days. We put it out in like 3 weeks. And from there, when I tell you, like, the song took off, I think the song was out between 4 and 6 months, and I was nominated for my first award. And I was like,
wow.
God. And the craziest, this is the craziest part. It still gets me. I'm gonna have to post the video later, but so I've been a college student. I was not only a single mother, but still going to college with my daughter and stuff like that. And it was very important to me that I still pushed to do what God has embedded in me, which was sing and minister to people. And so before I went ahead and just gave God my full yes, pay attention to my words, my full yes, I was doing secular music also. Yeah. And so I actually, in the midst of doing secular music, God had gave me this thing called Wings and Worship. which started out as a joke, right? So my friends were like, what kind of man you want? I want a man who likes to eat wings and love to worship God. Duh. And so I had started it as a joke. I'm like, let me make this Eventbrite and see who's gonna really come. 100 people had signed up for tickets. And I was like, yo, this should be a real thing. And so we ended up doing a thing called Wings and Worship, where I had got all this money donated for chicken wings. Me and my friends came together. We ended up worshiping God. Well, God had gave me instruction later on to do another one, but to make it for college students and to make it a retreat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, God, I'll do it. And so, long story short, I was out gigging. This is how I took care of my daughter full time. I would go to college. I would go home. I would practice my material, my music for my sets. And then I was out at different clubs and different bars and performing and just, you know, that's how I was taking care of me and my baby.
Right.
And so one day God had told me, he was like, right before Wings and Worship, Wings and Worship was in April. In January, God said, don't do any more secular music. I'm going to take care of you. Until after, he said, don't get any more gigs until after Wings and Worship. I was like, God, I ain't about to do that.
Right.
I got a mouth to feed. I trust you, but I don't trust you. But I was obedient. I went ahead and I was obedient. And when I tell you, like 2 weeks after saying, okay, God, I'm not going to do it. No, I stopped doing the gigs. That's what happened. And then February came and I was going to release some music. And it was some very, very explicit music, guys.
Wow.
And God, like, we finished recording it and everything. And my producer's like, you know, if you put this out, you ain't going to be able to be, the gospel people ain't going to be like, come back, baby. And I was like, it's fine, whatever. God forgive me. It's fine. It's fine. And I became like restless. Like I could not sleep.
Yeah.
Like songs were fire. Like probably would, like, I don't know. They probably would have just taken off. But God kept saying no. So I was restless. And one night God was like, take the songs down. Like we had already uploaded them to the streaming, to distro and stuff. And I was like, oh God, if I take this down, Chris is going to be mad. And all these people we got to come and play. And so I was obedient. And the next day I ended up texting Chris and I'm like, God gave me instruction to take the songs down. He was like, oh God, good. So he was happy that I went ahead and decided to take it down, even though he produced it and put in all that work. Yeah. God was giving him the same words and stuff too.
Right.
And so a week before Valentine's Day, we took the music down. And then a couple weeks later, or not a couple weeks, a couple months later, God ended up giving me Exposed. So where I was going from Wings and Worship, Wings and Worship was about to release the explicit music. God took that away because that probably would have ended up tainting what he was actually trying to do during that time, right?
Yeah.
And so we come back from Wings and Worship. I ended up going to one of the areas where I was going to perform. Right after Wings and Worship, getting back, I was like, okay, cool. Wings and Worship is done. I can go back and perform. And I ended up having a really, really bad anxiety attack and an asthma attack, and ended up falling out in front of like a whole bunch of people. It was like 100 people, right?
Oh my goodness!
And I'm a seer. If you guys can follow, I'm a seer, and so I saw attacking.
Oh my God!
So after that, I was like, okay, God, you have my full yes. I don't want to be in these environments anymore. It became a point to where they started attacking my daughter and things as well. She started having these seizures that doctors could not explain. And it became a point where I started seeing things happening. Right. And so after I gave God my full yes, I remember thinking back, after I gave him my yes, thinking back to one of the days at Wings and Worship, where I ended up going down a zip line. I'm terrified of heights. But we were talking about getting over fears at one point. And everyone was like, DW, you done did this conference. You better get up there and do that. I'm like, oh, Jesus, these people done talked me into doing the zip line. So I go down. I remember getting up there and God was like, look around. And I remember standing at the top of the thing and I was looking around. And God was like, just let go and trust me. That's what God said to me at the top of the zip line. Woo. And so I ended up lifting my leg or sitting down in the seat and getting down. I had my eyes closed. I'm like, going. And then like midway through, the Lord said, open your eyes. Open my eyes, and he said, that's how fast I'm about to push you into your destiny. I'm about to fast forward you into your destiny. Yes. That's what he said. Use the word fast forward. I'm about to fast forward you into your destiny. And a couple months later, that's when Exposed was given to me. And these different melodies just started keep coming and coming and coming. I have over 84 songs between June of last year up until now.
Yes,
And
and the
so,
followers that you have, the
yeah,
followers he gave, girl, that's how he do it. I am
yeah.
so glad that you were obedient because that expose is amazing. I mean, your vocals, I see her, there we go. The vocals are off the chain. I'm so
Thank
glad you were
you.
obedient to the Lord. You have exposed, you have colors. Now, I know you're working on something now. I think it's called Easy. Are you working on
Easy.
another single?
I am working on my EP and my album.
Yes.
God is very strategic. Like I told you, God's always giving me melodies and songs, and sometimes I'll take them and I'll, make a little voice memo and I'll throw it away and I won't pay any attention to it. And then like months later, he'll start singing it to me again, but then he'll give me the words.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're working on
Yes.
Easy right
I
now.
know it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Thank you.
You have some engagements coming up too, pretty soon. November the 5th. Is it the 5th?
November, no, November the 10th.
The 10th.
Yes, November the 10th. I am having a concert here in Oklahoma City, and it is called the Exposed Experience. And what it is not only are we exposing God and the
Yeah.
goodness of God, but I am also exposing some things, some trials and some tribulations and things that I've been through. But the beautiful thing about it is you're going to get to see how God showed out through
Yes.
situations. And so I'm really excited. I decided to go ahead and make it free. I'm also a vocal music teacher, a middle school vocal music teacher. And they're always like, Miss DW, can we come to your concerts? And so this will be a cool way for them to be able to come and experience it as well. So I'm really, really, really excited for people to get to see that. We're doing 10 songs, 10, most of them people have not heard, or half of them people have not got to hear. And so
Yes.
it's going to be a really beautiful thing.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you. You are absolutely amazing. I want to give a shout out right now live to Mr. Wayne Booker for reaching out to you. He
Thank
sent a message
you.
to the show. The other producer for the show, him and Mark. I'm so glad. Again, I'm telling you, when I heard your music, I could feel you. I could feel your spirit, through the song. And I'm so glad. So happy what God is doing in your life. You were female artist of the year, favorite female vocalist of the year for Oklahoma City, right?
I was nominated. I didn't win,
But it's
but
okay.
I was in that number.
You
Sorry, I joke a lot. So
I love it. That's what makes your personality so amazing because you just that amazing. I want to ask you something. I know we have a few more minutes because we are still going to play at the end of the show. We're going to play your other song, Can't Live Without. Now, you wrote that song as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you thinking when you wrote that song?
Honestly, I remember being a sophomore in closet. A sophomore in college.
Uh-huh.
And I kept hearing da, 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 but there was no words. And I think I remember going to the studio about a year ago, and I was like, Chris, I have this idea. And I was like, I can't live without. He was like, where are the rest of the words? And I was like, there aren't any. And so that song literally took like 2 or 3 years to write. But the beauty in it is God is very strategic because that time when God was giving me that melody, I was actually handicapped. I could not walk without the use of a walker. And so during that time, I had kind of strayed away from God and I was just doing my own little thing. What do you call going through the motions?
Emotions.
I was just going through the motions at that time. And I didn't realize that what was happening is that God was planting a seed. He was planting that melody in my heart before he gave me the full song. And so, yeah.
Woo! I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear it. Oh, Cass said you're still the winner. That's right, Cass.
Thank you. You're so nice.
Bishop Dewberry is on. Thank you so much, Bishop. I love you, man. So listen, I want to ask you another question. What is something that none of your fans or no one knows about you that you enjoy doing, like a hobby or something?
The people don't know. I really, really, really enjoy cooking. I can't say no one knows that, But like my friends and my family and people who I like kind of become close to, I feel like I have to cook for you. It's like a love language, but I'm also really good at it. So I want you to tell me that I'm good at it. Like, I want you to be like, girl, this is bomb. I know I should open a restaurant.
Oh my God. You
Maybe
are so
that's
funny. I love it though. I mean, I love it. But that's awesome, man. So your church family, your church home, the name of your church, your pastor, give us all that information, how we can
yes.
find you. We have your information running here at the bottom of the screen. But let's give a shout out to your pastor and your home church.
Shout out to my pastor, Tori Montgomery. I attend Ignite Church Global, where Pastor Tori Montgomery and Pastor Janelle Montgomery are my pastors. We are located in Oklahoma City. You can look them up on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you decide to do your social media, however we say that. But yeah, Ignite Church Global. Love them. Love my church. If you're in Oklahoma City or you come through, come visit us.
Wow. Now, are you a basketball fan? You like basketball?
Why you ask me that? Because you saw my ACL was torn.
That too. But I was going to ask you, how did you feel with, is it Kevin Garnett when he left Oklahoma?
Girl, I didn't care. I'm not that invested. It's funny you ask me that though. My dad is a high school basketball coach, and he's very known around here for playing basketball and football and stuff. So, but yes, I'm a fan, but I'm one of them fake fans who'll just put on the jersey and go be cute at the game, get me a corn dog or something. Well, I didn't care.
God. I love your personality. Oh my, it just
Thank
matches
you.
with your song, everything. I'm so grateful for you for joining the show tonight. Thank you so much. As you guys see at the bottom, you can follow her. Make sure you check her out, buy her music, get ready for the new single that's going to hit pretty soon called Easy. But if you have not seen the video of Exposed, we played it at the beginning of the show. Go back and check it out. We are going to play some of her music at the end of the show. So again, from the Coco McMillan Show, we want to thank you so much. And hopefully we will see you again back on the show.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. And kisses to your daughter, to your loved one,
Thank
your daughter.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. He said Kevin Durant. Yep. Renee Power, thank you so much. So listen, guys, make sure you check her out, support her, buy her music, all that good stuff. And yes, she will be back on the show pretty soon. So thanks again. Love you, sweetie.
I love you. Bye.
Yes, bye. Wow, that was Miss Delete Smith. Amazing woman of God. So please make sure you check her out. Listen, I want to bring on our pastor for the night to give us some encouraging words. Pastor Christina Mao. She has been on the show before. She is the founder of By His Stripes Outreach Ministry. She is a certified life coach, best-selling author, and also co-author. She is an amazing woman of God. She's been on the show with the Women on Fire panel, and I'm telling you, get your tissue, get your pen and paper, and listen to what Pastor has to say, because she's going to give you a word just for you tonight. Whatever you've been searching for, whatever you've been seeking, she's going to give it to you tonight. It's going to be your confirmation. So please help me welcome Pastor Christina Mao.
Hello,
Pastor. How are you?
I have not one complaint. Not one. I could, but I won't.
Oh God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know that you're supposed to have been on a couple of weeks ago, but due to an emergency, but it's all about God's timing, about everything. And so I'm glad that you agreed to come back. Thank you again, Wayne Booker, for reaching out to Pastor Mel. So what's been going on with you? Tell us something. Fill my heart. Let me lay out on the floor. All that good stuff.
It's funny you said what's been going on with me, because as I was listening to your conversation, the interview prior to this, I was like, You couldn't hear me, but I was over here having my moments where I was like, what? Shut up, God. Okay, yes. Because I'm going to tell you how God works. So she was talking about, the obedience. She talked about when God says don't do something and doing what you want to do, or do when God says do something and doing, well, I'm going to sneak this in real quick. And I have been reading Matthew 14. So I went through when John got his head cut off. I went through Jesus feeding the multitude, and I was revisiting when Peter walked on water. And so something that stood out to me this time was not the typical message as before. Usually we talk about the faith that it took to walk on that water, but I was looking at the scripture when in the King James Version, Jesus constrained them to get in the boat and go to the other side. And I was looking at that one word, constrained, and I was like, I know what it means in the American dictionary, but I looked it up in the Hebrew. It is an urgency, it's a sense of urgency. So he told them, right, get in the boat and go. So we know the story. They got in the boat. I'm paraphrasing. Please go back and read your words so you don't have to take my word for it. But they got in the boat, and as they were going to the other side, there was a storm. And something that I learned about the Sea of Galilee is depending on where the wind came, made the intensity of the storm what it was.
Yeah.
So this particular wind was an intense storm. And the word tells us that they looked out and they saw Jesus walking on water, right?
Yeah.
So this is where we get into where God gave me a new revelation. So when Peter saw Jesus, everybody knows he said, if it's you, call me to come to you. Let me come to you. Let me get out the boat, basically. Something that stood out to me. Before that, Jesus had already given them a directive. He had already told them what to do. Peter asking to get out the boat was extra. So God has been dealing with me with the problems of his permissive will. When God gives us his permissive will, he's giving us what we want, because basically he's our daddy. We don't nag him. We don't got on his nerves. We knocking on the door. Daddy, 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 daddy. Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? And his permissive will says, yes, he will allow it, but it is not his perfect will, which is his promise. Yes. And so I had been struggling and going back and forth. So when she was talking about obedience, I was like, wow, because I have been struggling and going back and forth with how long am I going to struggle with the problems of the permissive will of God instead of allowing the promises of the perfect will of God to take place in my life. So there was things that he had told me to do, places he told me to go. There was, words that he told me to release. And because I was, I really don't want to give it right now because, I just don't feel like it right now because giving him all of my excuses. So he allowed it, but because it wasn't his plan, everything that his perfect plan would have kept me from, I had to go through. Every problem that his perfect will would have kept me from, I had to experience. Peter was never meant to walk on that water and sink, but Jesus did save him because Jesus is Jesus. But Jesus' assignment for the disciples was to get in the boat and go to the other side. The assignment wasn't halfway through for you to switch it up. The assignment wasn't for you to get and see the storm and think, okay, I want to approach this storm a different way. It was his desire. Jesus is that you call me out. So I was just like, that was a revelation that God gave me in what I was going through in my season. I was so focused on the permissiveness and thinking, oh, okay, it's all good because he letting me do it, that I was really robbing myself of the perfection. The Bible talks about him perfecting our faith. The Bible talks about him establishing us and producing what it is that he has for us to be and for us to do. And so I was skipping steps with knocking on the door of his permissiveness instead of walking in his promise. So that interview that you just had with her, it just reminded me of all of that. I was just like, wow, we do that. And because he's faithful and because he's kind and because he loves us, because we're his children, he's still there. Like when Peter began to sink and he said, Lord, save me. Of course, Jesus rich, as my grandma used to say, rich down there and picked him up. But
Right.
sometimes I'm not in a season where that was what was designed. Sometimes I don't need to be picked up. That's not what was designed for me. It wasn't designed for me to pick up. So now the time that it takes to pick me up out of my stuff that I wasn't supposed to even be in, now I'm delaying myself even the more so from getting to where it was that I was already called to go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God. That, it's a couple of things that you said, because you're right. As she was speaking, I was thinking the same thing, like, oh my God, just being obedient, to what God is saying. But you said something about skipping the steps. We tend to do that. We skip the steps. I'm not going to go through that. I'm gonna skip and go over here. But we don't know that we're messing up the process, because he can't.
the process. And then we get mad. Think about when you're cooking and you missing an ingredient. You like, you know what? I usually add this teaspoon of vanilla, but since I don't have any, I'm gonna go ahead on and make it. And then we finish the product and we taste it and we mad because it doesn't taste the same. Something's off. We don't even want to share it. We don't even, you know what? I don't even want nobody else to eat this because I don't know what happened. You do know what happened. You skipped a step. You do know what happened. We good for saying I don't know what went wrong. You left something out.
Right.
You thought it was small enough to not matter to the overall taste of the dish. But every detail matters when it comes to God.
Every detail.
Every detail matters. It's a reason he told you to go left and not right. It's a reason he told you to let go of that relationship. It's a reason. Because see, if you stay with this person, whether it's a friend, whether it's, a significant other, and God is telling you to let it go, there's a door that you are going through that is not going to fit both of y'all. It's for you to walk through, but because you carrying this person with you, now when you're trying to go through the door, you bumping up against the hinges and you can't get in. But God told you to let that go.
Right.
It's the same thing with traveling. If your suitcase weighs a certain amount, they tell you it weighs too much. We can't put it on the plane. We can't weigh the plane down with the weight of your baggage. So we need you to let some of that go. You're going to have to take something out. You're going to have to throw something away, whatever the case may be. But you can't take all of that when it's time to take off. So, yeah, there's that.
You know how we do. Well, I want to bring her with me. I want to bring such and such with me because that's my friend and that's this and that. No. If God said no, and talk about, the season, Pastor, when God says to be by yourself.
Hold on, just can we process that for a second? I remember the first time, and I can't think off the top of my head right now. I know it's in Jeremiah, but I can't think of the chapter and the verse, but it is in there. This is not one of those those sayings that we have, but I remember when I read the first time that God will even tell you to stop praying for somebody. And when you asked that question, it took me to that because it made me think about how you're supposed to let something go. You're supposed to be by yourself, but you're praying to hold on to it. You're praying to keep it. And I remember going through a season in my life a few years ago where I needed help. I was down. I was down. Me and my kids actually ended up going to a shelter, but it was a beautiful story in the end. But I remember before we went to the shelter, nobody could help me.
Ooh.
And I say could because at the time I thought they wouldn't. I thought, well, you make X amount of, I'm counting people coins. You make X amount of dollars. How you can't help me? Right. You got this big old house. How you can't help me?
Right.
And so I was angry in that time, but God ended up showing me how sometimes he won't allow people to do for you, be there for you, open doors for you, because he needs you to stop giving them the glory for what he's allowing. So when he calls you to be by yourself, it's not a punishment. It's for you. It's a part of the process to bring you back in covenant with him. He's a jealous God.
Yes.
He is a jealous God. He does not want, and people, when they hear no other gods before him, they automatically start thinking other gods. But what have you made a God that you put before him? If I have my homegirl who every time I call her, she bailing me out, I've made her my God. Because I'm not going to God in prayer and saying, Lord, how shall I pursue this thing? Lord, how shall I get through this thing? Even though you told me, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you skip the part of where I walk through it. Some people are walking in it instead of through it.
Right.
So he will allow you to be by yourself so he can show you how to get through it versus you walking in it with them, they, and everybody else. So being by yourself, it's uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable.
Yes.
It can make you feel, it's not even, people equate it to loneliness, but it's where I learned not to be alone.
Ooh, God.
It's where I learned
That's
how, when he says that he will collect my tears and the very things that made me cry is the thing that he will use to refresh me. That's where I learned that at. But when I had everybody around me, helping me, cheering for me, building, doing everything for me, I couldn't see that or hear that. So, when God calls you to walk alone, and it's not even necessarily alone, but it's where you learn. There was an author that wrote a poem, Footprints in the Sand, and he said he looked back and he saw one set, and it was when Jesus said, that's where I was carrying you. Sometimes you can't see the moment that Jesus is carrying you if you have everybody else lifting you up. So there's that.
Ooh, that was it. That was good right there. Tawana McMillan, I see you out there in New York City. You guys, thank you so much for your comments and everything out there. This is Pastor Christina Miles. So one last question for you. Well, actually two. For those what do you have for those that's feeling right at this moment, they're struggling. Mm-hmm. They're on edge. They're distracted. They're depressed. They're weary. And the Bible says, don't be weary in well doing. What would you say to those out there right now to what they need to do?
Remind yourself of where you were the last time you thought you wasn't going to make it through. Remind yourself of the last time you was looking at your problem, you was looking at your Goliath. And even with Goliath, it wasn't even what he was doing. It was just the fact that he was big and he was talking. He was talking and making threats. He hadn't even done anything. I will rip you apart. I will do this. I'm going to do it. And didn't bust a brain. They was running from the words of the giant. Remind yourself of the last time you ran from your giant and God told you to stop and face your giant. Woo! And how you made it through that. Remind yourself of the last time that you thought you were sinking. And as I said earlier, my grandma used to say, he reached down there and pulled you out. Remind yourself of that, because sometimes we forget, and I do it. Every time darkness comes around, or every time something goes wrong, oh God, oh Lord, oh Jesus, oh Lord.
Yeah.
I forgot what he did before. And so I want you to think about, even with Jehoshaphat, this just came to mind. Thank you, Lord. This just came to mind. I was thinking about valleys last week. And so the first time Jehoshaphat went to battle, he lost, right? He didn't really listen. It didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. He won't be in a heat. Jehoshaphat got his little tail told. Right? So when he learned that not one, not two, but three of his enemies' armies was coming after him, and he went to God and said, he turned on his plate and he went to God and he prayed, and God gave him what I call a ridiculous strategy. Send the praises forward. Send the praise and worship first. And not only that, y'all, but the battle that he was facing was in a valley. And when I looked it up at the time, the valley itself, it talked about how the valley was narrow going in, and when you got on the inside, it stretched out, and then it closed in again. So you're going into this tight place, and when you think about being in a tight place, you start feeling claustrophobic, you can't breathe. All you see around you is your situation. That's it. That's all you see. And God is saying, but go head on in there, because I am going to be with you. And it was in that place that God confused the enemies. That was in that place that God allowed him to have victory without having to lift his sword. It was in that place that God allowed him to win the battle without having to go through. You know, and what I love about that particular valley, the name of that valley in English terms is called blessing. People look at valleys and they think it's the lowest place I can go. You look at your valley and you think, oh, I'm in the valley. Oh, God, why am I down here? Oh, God, woe is me. But sometimes your valley is not the worst place. It's your blessed place. It's where God needs you to be in order for him to show you that all you need is me. All you need is me. So while you're in your struggle, God is reminding you, you don't need whatever it is that you think is keeping you together. You know, we put our eggs in one basket. You're thinking, okay, they're laying off at my job. You ain't even got laid off yet, but you because they doing layoffs at your job. But God said, I will provide for you. Never have I seen the righteous forsaken nor seed begging bread. God said that. So I would say, remind not only yourself, but even the Lord says, bring my word back to me. Remind him of what he said. Remind him of his promises. Reason one with another with the Lord. We reasoning with everybody else. We battling with everybody else. But reason with God. Lord, they laying off at my job, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it because guess what? You're the one that got me the job. So I mean, this is not my problem. And I know it's easier said than done, but can I encourage you? Tell yourself every day until yourself starts to say it for you, until your spirit, when you wake up in the morning, you wake up and you feel in your spirit rejoicing because your spirit has been strengthened because of the word that you speak. Faith comes by hearing. So you speak it. No matter what, I don't care what your situation is. I'm not saying be naive. I'm not saying pretend that nothing's wrong. But I am saying watch what you say. And when you see things going this way, you see it going left, you see things falling apart, open up your mouth and speak the word to it. Open up your mouth. If God said, I will not be mocked, so a man sows, so that shall he reap. Then what are you planting in your problem? Are you planting more problems or are you planting the promise? Are you planting the word? What seed are you speaking? What are you
Come on now.
It's harvest time all the time. Something grows year round. Something grows in every atmosphere. There is something that can thrive and live in every atmosphere. Summer, spring, winter, fall. There is something that can grow. What are you planting? And what are you sowing? What is it that you are releasing? You speak. Even if you don't feel good, why are you walking around here saying it? No, I am healed. He was wounded. You speak. I mean, you gotta speak it.
Yes. Oh my God.
If I faint not, Lord, I'm going through, but if I faint not, I gotta speak to myself.
Yes.
I can't always expect for somebody else to do it because you may be going through and you may barely have enough for you. So Lord, fill my cup.
Yeah.
With whatever you have for my cup. Even Jesus had that moment, let this cup pass from me, but then he thought about it. He came back, he got his strength back. He remembered who his daddy was, and he was like, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. Lord, whatever it is, I may not like the way Jesus, this hurt.
Right.
That pinch me a little bit. But I'm trusting you. I'm chasing after you. I'm believing you. Okay, I stumbled over here. Okay, I fell over there. All right, I was hard-headed. I'll wear that guy. What I went through, that was me. You right.
Yes.
But he gently resets our steps. He orders our steps. He has already predestined my steps. So I can't get mad. So even in the midst of my struggle, even in the midst of your struggle, that's what I would speak to you. I would say, remind yourself of what the Lord said.
Woo! That's good right there, Pastor. The chat is going crazy. Okay.
My
I
God.
told you guys she was going to come tonight and
I done
confirm
started
some things to give you those nuggets that you needed to encourage you. And what I love the most is to remind you,
mm-hmm.
if he did it before, he will do it again. Pastor, tell them how they can find you. We have your information running here at the bottom, but tell them how they can reach you.
I am on all social media platforms, Christina L. Mile. My website is the same, ChristinaLMile.com. I try to keep it updated with where I'm going to be and what I'm doing. I try, y'all. I try. But listen, reach out. My ministry page is By His Stripes Outreach Ministries on Facebook, and I'm just going where God say go. I mean, I have a conference. It's not until March, but Daughters of Destiny for the girls Daddy left behind. I was supposed to do it in August, got COVID, which ended up being okay. I needed that. Not the COVID, but just the process that what happened throughout me having COVID. But I'm working on book number 4. Actually, it's a 2-parter. It's a journal and a book, and the journal is done. I am so excited. I am so excited. But yeah, that's about to be released or announced. And again, I'm just, you can reach out to me. God, I can't keep this because it's not mine. It's called a gift for a reason. You give gifts.
Right.
You don't hoard gifts. Even if you don't drink coffee and somebody blesses you with a coffee pot, well, when you have family functions, guess what? You can make coffee.
Exactly.
So
I love that you said that's why it's called a gift to share with others. And I tell, I said at the beginning of the show, we have this show to bring, your cell phone and Miss Smith and Maurice Launcher is on there. I see your comments, Maurice. Thank you so much. He and Darren Henson was on a couple of weeks ago. They have a movie that's out now, playing on Tubi called A House Ain't a Home.
Okay.
Make sure you guys go out and watch it. But that's why we bring them to the shows, because your testimony can bless millions of souls, out there. So we want to be that blessing for someone. So again, Pastor, thank you. I got just what I needed tonight from you and DeWeek Smith. I mean, you guys are amazing. Thank you. And hopefully, again, you'll come back to see us again and bless us. I know people out there are blessed. I can see the comments going. So you guys make sure, Tawana, I see you, baby. I see you. Oh, thank you so much. TT, hey TT, thank you for joining. But make sure you guys go back and share it and look at the comments. Listen to what Pastor was sharing with you. I saw a comment there that DeWeek Smith said she forgot to tell us something there about when God was speaking to her when she was obedient. So please make sure you go back and read it and just be blessed. Just be blessed about what happened tonight. And as Pastor said, remind yourself what the Lord says, because again, if he did it before, he would do it again. Let me see. Short time that was reading, God started to provide financial blessings to become. But yes, he will. She said when she stopped singing, that's okay. So let me see. I stopped singing that short time and was obedient. God started providing financial blessings to become to obedience. That's right. Because when she did what the Lord said to do, that's when he came in and he'll give you all of it, not just a little bit, everything that you need. So
I'm a witness. Real quick, there were several things over the course of the past couple of months that God told me to let go of. And when I let go, can I tell you I ain't missed a step? See? Can I tell you everything that I let go of, what was next was literally, it was almost as if it was getting ready to knock at the door. And the moment I let go and opened the door, the next door was already open. It was right there. Everything that he told, everything.
I feel
Yeah.
that. That was in my life. Billy Boy, my shanana. So guys, thank you. We are at the end of our time. Again, it gets so good. I'm just so excited. So thank you again, Pastor Mel, for coming on, sharing this information and sharing the word of the Lord with us tonight. I know that it encouraged me, and I know, in fact, that it encouraged our viewers out there tonight. So thank you again. God bless you, my sister. I love you.
I love you.
And we'll see each other very, very soon.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Wow, that was it. That's your word for tonight, your confirmation. We had DeWeek Smith that was on here giving her testimony. Listen to her song Exposed. We're going to leave you tonight with her other song, her other single that's called I Can't Live Without. We're going to leave you with that tonight. Thank you, Maurice Launchner, for joining us tonight. As I said, he was on a couple of weeks ago. He has a movie that's out right now on Tubi that's playing A House Ain't a Home. So make sure you check it out. Again, I say this every week. Trust the process. Trust the process. And trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. God bless you tonight. Thank you, Mark Lee, Wayne Booker, Kimberly Thompson, the Word, the IBM Network. Thank you all for just supporting the show tonight. Thank you for watching it. Make sure you share, comment, and share the broadcast with someone. And know that God has not forgotten about you. We're going to leave you tonight with Miss DeWeek Smith, her new single that's out, I Can't Live Without. God bless you. Good night.
Feeling lost and lonely, I can't see but I'm lonely. I know I need to praise, get through the day. Feeling down and gloomy, worthless, dumb and lonely. I know I need to praise, get through the day. Through it all I will praise. Good days I will praise. Bad days I will praise. 'Cause you're worth it all.